Welcome to Emporia State University. I'm Reid, Youthe, speech and theater teacher at Lakewood Middle School in Blue Valley School District. I'm also a 2015 Kansas Master teacher, and I'll be your Master of Ceremonies this evening. It is great to have all of you here with us tonight to help celebrate this year's awesome class of Kansas Master teachers. To begin tonight, I'd like to welcome Emporia State University President Allison Garrett to the podium to say a few words.
Notes in my pocket. One of them says Drano. I don't think that one's relevant tonight. But the other is a quote I wanted to refer to in just a minute. I wanted to welcome all of you to campus. We are absolutely thrilled to have all of you on campus. Congratulations to those of you who are receiving awards. It is such an honor to be able to recognize outstanding teachers. My favorite book that is written about the profession of teaching is a book called The Courage to Teach. And I happen to think, number one, it's got the best title ever for a book about teaching. But number two, Parker Palmer, the author, wrote a number of just absolutely amazing things about what those of you who are teachers do every single day in the classroom. And one of the things he said was, good teachers possess a capacity for connectedness. They are able to weave a complex web of connections among themselves, their subjects, and their students. So I want to thank all of you for coming tonight because you've helped us connect with you and your students, and we are thrilled that we have been able to make those connections with you tonight, and thank you for sharing with us what you do in the classroom. Again, congratulations to those honorees tonight.
Thank you, President Garrett. Tonight, we honor 7 exceptional educators and highlight some of the wonderful things that they have done and that they continue to do for their students and their schools. So, I'd like to introduce this year's Master Teachers. They are John Butcher of Blue Valley, Melinda Eitel from Salina, Joan Hayden, Gary County, Jennifer Hendrix, Dodge City, Kimberly, Hett, Andover, Brandy Lane, Auburn, Washburn, and Laura Schwinn from Emporia. Please rise and welcome our 2017 Kansas Master Teacher. Thank you again for joining us for the 2017 Kansas Master Teacher Awards Ceremony. This year, we honor our 7 Master Teachers along with their gifts to Kansas kids and families. There are also some other important guests with us this evening, so I'd like to introduce them. So as I introduce you guests, if you would stand briefly, and audience, if you would just hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. Allison Garrett, our president of Emporia State University, who was here with us earlier. David Cordell, our provost of Emporia State University. Ken Weaver, dean of the Teachers College. Brent, we might need some batteries, Nathan. You should get a theater teacher in here to do this. Tyler Curtis, executive director of alumni relations at ESU. Carol Strickland, director of the National Teachers Hall of Fame. Dina Horst from the Kansas State Board of Education. State senators and representatives. Bud Estes from Dodge City. Representative Eric Smith from Burlington. Representative Mark Schreiber from Emporia. And Joe Badger representing Senators Terry Moran. Also like to introduce our selection committee, Rachel Henderson, Kansas PTA, Mark Farr, Kate Schaefer, KMEA, it's a student program. And again, Dina Horst from Kansas State Board of Education. We'd like to have all school superintendents please stand, along with principals and other administrators. All former master teachers in attendance, if you'd please stand. I'd like to especially thank all of you for being here tonight. And all of our 2017 master teacher nominees are listed in the back of your program book. We'd like to congratulate each of them because being nominated is truly an honor and a demonstration of outstanding service in their district. Before I call the teachers to the stage, I would like to recognize Bank of America for their ongoing support of the Master Teacher Program. Since 1980, Bank of America has pledged over $100,000 to permanently endow the Kansas Master Teacher Awards. In addition, this year, $8,000 was given by Bank of America to further underwrite the program and give each 2017 Master Teacher a $1,000 stipend for professional development. So let's have a round of applause for Bank of America. At this time, I'd like to call the 2017 Kansas Master Teachers to the stage. This year's Kansas Master Teachers are John Butcher, high school art teacher, Blue Valley, USD 229. Melinda Eitel, kindergarten teacher, Salina, USD 305. Joan Hayden, middle school physical education, Geary County, USD 475. Jennifer Hendrix, high school physics teacher, Dodge City, USD 443. Kimberly Hett, 5th grade teacher, Andover, USD 385. Brandy Lane, 6th grade teacher, Auburn Washburn, USD 437. And Laura Schwinn, high school AV communications, Emporia, USD 253. It's now my privilege to ask Dean Ken Weaver to officially pronounce and present the awards.
Thank you, Reid. By the power vested in me by the state of Kansas and the Kansas Board of Regents, I confer on you the title and designation of Kansas Master Teacher. Congratulations.
Audience members who would like to come forward to take photos are welcome to do so at this time. We'll read each member's name one more time as they come and collect their awards. John Butcher. Melinda Eitel. Joan Hayden. Jennifer Hendrix. Kimberly Hett. Brandy Lane. And Laura Schwinn.
Well, we have had a fabulous day. This campus glows when we have the master teachers here every year. 64 years of master teachers, of recognizing the finest teachers in the state of Kansas. Oh my gosh, do we have outstanding teachers? Oh my gosh. These 7 are incredible. So we are in for a real treat tonight when each one of them has a chance to share from their hearts some of the things that they feel most passionately about and most deeply about when it comes to teaching. Earlier today, we have a special treat. We bring our student teachers from out in the field back to campus. And then we have our student teachers who aren't, or our students, education majors who aren't quite ready to go out, so they're getting ready to go out here in about a year or so. And we have then a panel. 7 master teachers are sitting in this rather large auditorium-style room. We have about 150 majors that are out there. And we have an MC, Roger Casual, back here in the back, did a super job today. And it can be structured in a variety of different ways. This year, the master teachers looked at recordings of this, right? Is that correct? And said, from past years, and said, well, we're not playing this game. This is the way we want things to go. And oh my gosh, it was amazing. And I just having been to almost every one of the ones since I've been here, what made this so special was the interaction with the students from the beginning. So the norm is, here's a question, and we'll have every member, every master teacher answer the question, and then here's the second question, which is a very fine format. And then at the end, students have a chance to ask questions. This time, students were involved from the get-go. And it was snappy, and it was actually, I would tell you that it was the most inspirational of all the ones that I've been to. And that's amazing. So whatever you all did, I think we're trying to replicate in the future. As you leave this evening, if you want to know a little bit more about Emporia State University, which I hope you do, because it's a wonderful place, we have this brochure that we prepare to give to visitors and others that tell you a little bit more about our students. It's really very much about our students and their accomplishments and tells our story through the successes of our students. It's called Excellence in Action. There are brochures on the table as you exit this beautiful space, and please feel free to take one. You know, there is, so my role in all of this, besides having a great time and eating, good food and have a chance to listen to the master teachers both this afternoon and now again tonight, it's like the icing on the cake, is I have this great good fortune of telling you a little bit about them. So you have the biographies here in the program. What I'm going to be telling you about them is excerpts, or is obtained from excerpts from the recommendation letters that colleagues and principals and former students of theirs have written as part of the nomination packet that was submitted for each of our master teachers. And it does provide some really some neat insight into them as individuals, into them as professionals. So anyway, I'm anxious to get started, so let's do that. John Butcher. John Butcher knows that creating art is a very personal and demanding endeavor, making it critical to have a supportive, non-judgmental classroom atmosphere where students can feel secure in expressing themselves both creatively and personally. His principal states, to say that John has excellent rapport with his students would be an understatement. He shows a sincere interest in them as individuals and is consistently fair in dealing with them. John is always willing to go above and beyond to the betterment of his students, his department, and our school. A former student who is now an art teacher and colleague of John's now writes, John Butcher was the reason I chose teaching as a profession. Now, does it get any better than that? I wanted to be like John. The qualities I was drawn to as a student impress me now as a colleague. Through him, I have learned the power of relationships in education. How many times did we hear relationships today during the seminar? Another former student, now an art teacher, also shares. His talents go far beyond teaching art, and his influence on his students can never be truly measured. Mr. Butcher taught me how to be an artist, but more importantly, how to pass my skills on to others. A current student writes, I used to lack confidence not only in my artwork, but also in my everyday life. For those of you who may not be familiar about what it means to be a teacher, that's not uncommon. Because of him, I learned to believe in myself and to be engaged in others. He has made me excited to broaden my horizons in the art world and in the real world. Please welcome John Butcher, Master Teacher.
Well, all I got to say is, if you had asked me September 5th what I'd be doing April 5th, I did not see this happening. So anyway, it's really an honor. I'd like to take a moment and thank a number of people for the wonderful day we've had today. I'd like to thank Lucy Youthe for keeping us all in the loop and taking us around. I'd like to thank the Dean's Office and Dr. Weaver for the hospitality and the luncheon we enjoyed today. And I'd like to thank the selection committee for all their hard work. Finally, my family and my friends that are here tonight to help me celebrate. Last but not least, I want to thank Dr. Amy Murphy, my principal, for coming to celebrate the evening. Amy, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for your support and confidence you've had in me throughout my entire career at Blue Valley Northwest, and I'll never forget it, and I really mean that. You know, I just want to take a second here, and I think I speak for the other master teachers when I say, I think we ought to take just a second and think about the 37,000 other teachers in the state of Kansas that are going to get up in the morning and pour their hearts out in their classrooms. So let's give them a round of applause. I'd like to just take a minute and talk a little bit about my family. I felt like teaching has always been in my DNA, and it really started with my grandfather, who came to Emporia in 1913 to serve as the president of the normal school, which later became Emporia State University. He served until 1943. My father, Walt, taught political science, pre-law, and Kansas history his entire college career here at Emporia State. My mother, Elizabeth, taught in a one-room schoolhouse in Zenda, Kansas to start her career. My sister, Betty, received her education degree here and taught elementary before joining TWA Airlines. My wife, Janet, taught first grade in Shawnee Mission for 37 years. Ruby Butcher, my cousin, taught sixth grade for 35 years and retired from the Emporia District. And Grant Charpentier, my nephew, is continuing the tradition as an art teacher at Emporia High, teaching ceramics and glass blowing. I firmly believe he will be up here one of these days. You know, I'd never really thought about this before, but when I was writing this, it dawned on me that there has been a butcher as an administrator or a teacher working in the state of Kansas for the last 103 years, continuously. I want to talk a little bit about the most influential teacher that I ever had. His name was Jerry Troxel. He taught at Emporia High School. He was a master of forming bonds and relationships with all his students, and all the time he was pushing us to be better artists, and probably more importantly, better critical thinkers. His method of teaching had a profound effect on me, and his love of art was infectious. And at the end of his class, I knew I wanted to be an art teacher. I think through art we all have a common language, and I've seen students stop comparing themselves to others and rely on their own artistic instincts, and it's this personal growth that has held my attention for all these years. Throughout my career, I've tried to form personal relationships with my students, and to this day, ex-students continue to return to my classroom, contact me to share their achievements and personal lives. I will always cherish these conversations. I hope that when my students look back, they will remember how much I truly cared about them. I have never second-guessed my decision to be a teacher because I can think of no higher career calling. They say that if you love your job, you will never work a day in your life, and I'd just like to say that is certainly applied to me. So thank you very much.
So there is, for our next master teacher, Melinda. Melinda, you're Grace Stewart Elementary School, yes. So, kind of what goes around comes around, maybe. If you look in your program at the very first class, 1954, all right, 1954, it's quite a few years ago. And if you look at the first class of master teachers, you will see the bottom name, Grace Stewart. I see a couple heads nodding right here. You know, how amazing is that? So our next master teacher teaches at Grace E. Stewart Elementary School. So let's hear more about Melinda. Melinda Eitel believes that all children are different and therefore learn differently. She also believes it is unfair to teach all of the students in her classroom with the same approach, at the same level, and at the same pace of instruction. A colleague shares she goes above and beyond to meet her students' individualized needs every single day. She is an expert at utilizing volunteers in her classroom, organizing them to help her in small groups throughout each day. Her principal states she is passionate about providing instruction that both stretches her students and creates a just right fit for the individual's needs. Her excellent organizational skills allow her to target student needs in the classroom. A former student, now in college, recalls, learning was the first priority in Mrs. Eitel's classroom, and she motivated all of her students to be the best that we could be. A parent and classroom volunteer writes, Mrs. Eitel is wonderful with the kids. She is very patient and loving, while also providing structure that the kids so desperately need. She has a large class with many different personalities and maturity levels, but she handles them all with grace and kindness. Another parent and colleague states, I have never heard her raise her voice to her students, but they are always on task and know the correct thing to do. She is amazing with kindergartners. Please welcome Melinda Eitel, Master Teacher.
Wow, I just want to start by saying thank you. What an amazing day this has been. Thank you so much to Lucy and the entire Emporia staff for what we've been given today. This is just an experience literally of a lifetime, and I just want to say thank you for that. Thank you to everybody that came from Salina. My goodness, our superintendent of schools, Mr. William Hall, is here. I have board members here. I have very special friends and coworkers, and my family is here. And I just, and Salina NEA president is here, Mr. Jonathan Eschner, and I just can't thank you enough for coming out for this. I'm so blessed to work in Salina School District. I truly believe I work in the best district there is. We have the most wonderful children, parents, families, community members, staff, and teachers, and our board office is amazing. The support we get is unbelievable. When they said I had to give a speech tonight, I got a little nervous, which I currently still am. And I asked my 15-year-old daughter for some advice about what to say, and she assured me not to worry about it because no one would really be listening. So I decided to ignore her advice and try to come up with a few words. I wish I had some phenomenal story to tell you about why I chose to be a teacher. I don't. Honestly, if I had chosen the career path that I thought I was going to be my entire elementary school years, I would not be here today. I would be out somewhere digging up dinosaur bones because I really wanted to be a paleontologist. And thank heavens I did not do that. I'm not sure how I would live covered in khaki head to toe. But I do really like those cool vests they get to wear with all the pockets. So I didn't follow that path, and instead I chose education. And I don't really even have a remarkable story to share there. So instead, I decided to let you in on the secret of my so-called success. It's all about luck. I can honestly say that I am no more deserving than anyone I am lucky enough to work with now or have in the past. Luck. I was lucky enough to have been born into a family that valued education. They saw the importance of me, reading to me, studying for spelling tests, and practicing math facts. I was lucky enough to have sisters that sometimes let me be the teacher when we played school. I was lucky enough to have teachers that made books come to life when they read aloud to me. I was lucky enough to attend an elementary school, which you now all know is Gracie Elementary Stewart School, and it is significant because she was one of the very first master teachers, and that's a pretty cool thing. I not only attended my entire grade school years there, but I now teach in that school, and that's exciting to me. Luck. I was lucky enough to marry my high school sweetheart that has supported me from the beginning of my career. He's never complained with the long hours, the weekend work, the checkbook balance in August every year when I overspend in my classroom, the master's degree I just can't seem to put to use because it would mean I have to leave the classroom. He's never complained about the fact that he's had to move my classroom 10 times in the last 25 years that I've been teaching. I'm lucky. I've been lucky to have 3 kids that have helped me along the way in my classroom, from sharpening pencils to playing desk fairy for me, to organizing my toys and books and building Dr. Seuss trees, and they've been some of my biggest help. Luck. I've been lucky to have wonderful volunteers over the years. Volunteers that I might have only had for a year, to volunteers I've had for many, many years, to community volunteers I've had. I've been lucky to have them. Luck. I've been fortunate to work under amazing administrators from the very beginning of my career, each one bringing something new and allowing me to grow as an educator. I've been incredibly lucky to work with so many other educators and support staff at several buildings in our district, and I've gained lessons from each and every one of them. And of course, the most important, luck to work with other parents' most prized possessions, every day, their children. There is no other profession I can imagine that could be as fulfilling as a teacher. So that's how I got here today. Luck. And if someone were to ask me what's the secret to lasting this long in the classroom, I'd have to say luck, and it's probably all about the acting. I'm sure that doesn't sound very professional, but it is the honest truth, and maybe some of the best advice I could give somebody just entering the teaching field. Kids need to believe that I can't wait for them to get in the classroom each morning. Even mornings when I'm running behind and I'm not quite ready for them to step foot in there, they have to believe that I couldn't wait for them to get there that morning. They need to believe that when Christmas break comes, I'm really, really sad about it because I'm going to miss them. And I can't wait for them to get back, and I hope the break goes by fast. Most of the time as educators, that really is how we feel. It is truly the most rewarding place to be, and by far the majority of those days are ones I can't wait for them to get there. My students need to believe that whatever lesson I'm teaching is the most important lesson they're ever going to learn. They need to believe that their handwriting on a weather unit that we get to hang out in the hallway is the most beautiful handwriting I've ever seen. And sometimes that can be tough. On mornings when I'm running behind and haven't finished, it's important that I'm there to greet them, because I've learned that when a student feels like their teacher misses them and that they're the most important person to walk through their door, that it's a good place to be. On afternoons, after an exhausting day of instruction, when we've had a full moon, snow falling, and it's Friday the 13th, and that really did happen this year, I still need to be able to give big smiles, big hugs, and tell them to have a great weekend and come back soon. And so that's it. That's the secret to my success. Luck and some good acting. Thank you.
Our next master teacher, Joan Hayden. Joan believes most people learn best by doing it, and physical education can reach most students because it is education in action. By incorporating core subjects into the PE curriculum, she helps active students get the wiggles out and sluggish students to wake up. A colleague states, "It is clear her classroom is a location where other disciplines are integrated, and her students are receiving a relevant and fantastic physical education." So think about that. A PE class where the core subjects are being integrated into the course. Her building principal states she is truly a lifelong learner. She actively seeks out opportunities to improve her practice through professional development, and she is a leader in implementing new practices in her classroom. A community member and healthcare professional writes, "Her teaching abilities and efforts are not limited by the location of her classroom or by the age of her learners or by the athletic ability of her participants. I have seen her make fitness relevant to middle school kids, to high school athletes, and to morbidly obese, chair-ridden adults." A current student who recently transferred into the district shares, "It was very intimidating to go to a new school. Mrs. Hayden made me feel welcome and always made sure I felt included. I felt she was always on my side and cared about how I was doing." Please welcome Joan Hayden, Master Teacher.
Thank you. It's been a wonderful day. Thank you, Lucy, and thank you all of Emporia State staff. We really had a great day. Corn. That's right, corn. I am a teacher because of corn. Because you see, I grew up in the great state of Nebraska, and what you do for a summer job when you're a kid, you detassel corn. And detasseling corn is farm work, and so therefore it's hard work. It's hot, it's sweaty, it's muddy, it's itchy. And so when the opportunity came to me to help with some swim lessons at the local pool, I dove right in. And through that experience, I really learned the value in watching kids grow and not only develop skills, but also develop self-confidence. It was really rewarding for me. And that is the reason why I decided to become a teacher. They say education has changed a lot, and it has in a lot of ways, but I have spent the last 27 years in a middle school girls' locker room. Some things just haven't changed. It's the he said, she said, that you said, that they thought they said, had they said it. Sometimes there's a little trauma. A lot of times there's a lot of drama. But then there's those 6th grade boys, you gotta love them. And some of you have been those 6th grade boys, so you know what I'm talking about. Kind of silly and goofy and excited, and you run into things. You run into walls, you run into the floor, and you're kind of awkward, and you say awkward things, but they're great kids to teach because they're like a sponge. They really want to learn whether they know that or not. It is a fun time teaching those boys. I always tell my boys in my PE classes, you are lucky that I am a mom that has 3 sons. Because you see, you're not going to rattle me. I have seen it. I have heard it. And yes, I've probably smelled it. So PE has a lot of inspiration and a lot of perspiration. So it is one avenue where kids get to work hard, but they are rewarded for playing harder. And wouldn't that be great as adults that we all got rewarded for playing harder? What a great thing to teach, and what fun to teach, and it has been a great rewarding experience for me throughout the years. And the years go by quickly, and so I have my 35th high school class reunion coming up. And I was asked to get in touch with some classmates. So I went through Facebook, kind of the locker room of 2017 when you think about it. You said, she said. And I connected with a former classmate via her brother Mike. And Mike used to hang out at the swimming pool when I was a lifeguard and taught lessons. So connecting with him, I thanked him and I said, you know, you'll be happy to know this, that I am still teaching swimming lessons and I am still lifeguarding. His very quick response was this: just so you know, those swim lessons have served me well in my career in the United States Navy. thank you for the lessons and for the timeouts. Now, this is all a matter of perspective because I remember those as get out, don't come back for a while. So all a matter of perspective. We teach a life, we touch a life, and sometimes it takes 38 years to realize that you've actually made a difference. A lot of people here tonight have made a difference in my life. Mom, you taught me to be humble and kind before it was even fashionable. My brother Greg, for years, I was known as Greg's little sister. Now I like being known as Greg's younger sister. Pearson Chance and your brother Stone, who's I'm sure studying at Fort Hays tonight. Thank you for allowing me to hear it, to see it, and to smell it. You have made me a better teacher. To my Fort Riley Middle School family, past and present, I want to thank you. Thank you for the nomination, thank you for the recommendations, and thank you for letting me be me and going along with some really zany ideas. To my husband, Ted, thank you for putting up with me. And thank you for putting up with me in the next couple weeks, because this time of year at our house, it's crazy lady time, because it's wellness fair at Fort Riley Middle School. And just a heads up, crazy starts tomorrow. Thank you to our administrative staff and Board of Education members. I really appreciate you coming. I appreciate the difference you've made in my life. Master teachers, wow, it's been fun. I hope we have more fun together. It's really been great. So to each and every one of you tonight, thank you for the lessons. They will serve me well with my career in teaching PE, and most importantly, in life. So thank you, and play harder.
Jennifer Hendrix wants to challenge her students' perspectives and create an environment where students feel they can take risks and be skeptical and curious about the natural world. She believes motivation is rooted in curiosity, so she engages them in daily conversations that reveal their interest to help her create a learning environment that is driven by their own questions. Her building principle states, students look forward to Mrs. Hendrix's classes because she makes learning meaningful and relevant. From the first day students enter her classroom, they become actively engaged in every aspect of the learning process. A former student, now a senior in college majoring in mechanical engineering, fondly recalls, I still remember clearly the day in 8th grade where she told us how aliens had landed in her backyard and told her about the periodic table and how it worked. I have never been so convinced that a teacher was quite literally crazy. And I have also never forgotten the layout or how the periodic table works. A parent and fellow teacher writes, every parent wants her child to experience what Jennifer brings to every student in her classroom. Let me say that one more time. Every parent wants her child to experience what Jennifer brings to every student in her classroom. Passion for her craft, exposure to new ideas and experiences, and caring both on an individual and a global level. Please welcome Jennifer Hendrix.
All right. Well, I'm a very grateful person, but I'm not going to say any thank yous tonight. Tonight, I would like to, try to use this properly. I'd like you to think. That's my job. I make kids think. And so I'm going to ask you to think about why. Why am I still teaching? And why, after all this time, am I still inspired to get up each morning? And I hope that what follows makes you think about the whys in your own life. I'm also going to share some experiences and a poem by William Ernest Henley. She sits in my 4th block physics class, reluctant to go to lunch. She stays rooted in her chair as her eyes drift into the future. She does not know that I know she is taking 3 AP courses while working until 10 each night after school at a local restaurant. She doesn't know that her father sits in immigration limbo in jail, and has been for several months, wiping out the family income and leaving the mom to provide for 3 children on little more than minimum wage. She does know that I know she will be a mathematician someday, a first-generation immigrant to navigate both college and high school graduations. When she looks up, I know what questions she asks herself. Will I make it? Out of the night that covers me, black as a pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. The commons slowly fills with the hum of students. I see him walk with only one purpose forward. A student looks up and knows he's been sighted. They turn together, greedy to use every minute. I know where they go. There will be others. They will stand at the board working problems filled with symbols and numbers, talking together. He, the expert, will guide, question, and encourage. School starts at 8:30, but it's only 7:15. She cries on the phone. So many hats to wear. 3 hours of art here, drive to another school. Pick up a cart in a closet, wheel it into a room, 28 first graders. Scissors, cut, paste. I can hear her. Carry your scissors down, please. Cut, paste on a kid. Pick up, clean up, push cart, start again. Frustration, disappointment, compassion, perseverance. I can hear it in her voice. I will not falter. In the felt clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. My plan, a break. I walk through the hall only to be confused. Tables sit where lockers were, students sit with iPads, some with earphones. He scurries between them, monitoring their progress, moving the next to their spot. I remember now, testing season, the faculty meeting. We have 898 students that will take the CALPA this year, he says. Each will complete 3 tests, writing, listening, and speaking. I hear the gasp from our faculty as we realize the implications on class time, on instruction, on opportunities for our kids. He nods as she brings us to our senses. We can only do our best in our little corner of the world. Her gaze is steady, sincere yet determined, and through it we hear the message, we will find a way. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. The unconquerable soul of education lives in the students that enter my classroom each day, struggling through problems, debating their solutions, laughing, learning, failing, and starting again. They will make it. The soul of education lives in the unbowed heads of the educators that surround me each day as they integrate new technology and pedagogy to reach the most difficult kid and the highest achieving one. Flexible, unwavering, they will not falter. The soul of education lives in the administrators and staff I see each day, unbowed to the menace of legislation, budget constraints, and opinions which strive to undermine the fabric that connects our communities. Steadfast, purposeful, they always find a way. There are many who doubt this soul, many who would find the faults that we harbor, the times we fail or come up short. Yet I know of no master of fate who is unaware of their weaknesses, and I know of no captain who would neglect their shortcomings as they journey across the sea. Those that doubt this soul of education have forgotten the thread that connects us together, binding us tightly to the past, future, and present. As St. Paul reminds us, for we are saved by hope. Thank you to everyone that makes this endeavor of education so hopeful each day.
Kimberly Hett. Kimberly recognizes that not all students fit into the traditional model of learning. She believes all students can learn, but they definitely need teachers and public schools that support, encourage, and enhance their personal modes of learning. This is the source of her passion for blended learning. An administrator writes, Through Kim's can-do attitude, her extraordinary ability to bring people together to work for a common goal, and her tireless work, a flourishing eCademy was built and thrives today. I suspect Kimberly's going to tell us about eCademy. A colleague at Andover eCademy writes, Kim not only goes the extra mile for students, but is also willing to take chances on students who feel as though they have nowhere else to attend due to extraordinary circumstances. A parent states it takes a very special teacher with a creative, non-traditional idea to reach different learning styles in a virtual environment. As a parent and learning coach, I'm grateful for Mrs. Hett's ability to effectively interact with such diverse students. A former student who struggled academically shares, she won my heart to strive and succeed. Her influence and passion go beyond me and my life. Because of Mrs. Hett's devotion to education, children, and teaching, I have felt my own calling to do the same. She evoked a teacher's heart in me, and I know I am not alone in that as well. Please welcome Kimberly Hett, Master Teacher.
Thank you, honey. That's really sweet. Thank you so much for this honor. I want to take a moment to thank everybody at Emporia State. Thank you so much, Lucy and everybody else. My fellow master teacher colleagues, it's been great getting to know each and every one of them for an incredible day. What I'm going to say to you is a lot about family, but not just my biological family. So I'm going to start also by talking about my Andover family. I want to thank my superintendent, my associate superintendents, board members, and my team and my principal and other teachers in the district. Thank you so much. And I also want to thank you for letting people in Andover think outside the box to do what's best for kids. My biological family, I want to thank my parents who supported and nourished my dreams of becoming a teacher. My husband, Chris, and his family for putting up with all my pre-service and student teaching years. And of course, my children, Garrett and Gracie, who not only made me a mom, but gave me the ability to see children from a different perspective and to become even a better teacher. 5 years old is when I decided I was going to be a teacher. I was one of my only friends in college that didn't change their major. As a matter of fact, I was even pledge educator of my sorority, teaching all of the prospective members about the history of Delta Gamma. But teaching has always been a part of who I am, and I don't know why. I didn't come from a line of teachers. I didn't have that one aha moment in school that inspired me. It just was always in my heart, and my mom will tell you many stories of me growing up that's just what I did. I just always wanted to do it. My philosophy of believing that every child can learn has definitely evolved over the past 23 years. I am a firm believer in public schools, and I know Kansas has the best. I've also learned that not all students can learn in a traditional environment. And when I started with Andover eCademy 7 years ago, my eyes opened to a world of children who deserve great education, but maybe were too sick to go to school. Maybe they were too afraid for whatever reason, or they wanted to pursue their dreams of being athletes or being an actor or an actress. There needs to be a place for them as well in all of our public schools. How lucky am I to be in a profession that I love? We've talked about it all day, even after all these years. Yes, there are times I want to beat my head against the wall, but getting up for work in the mornings is something that I do not dread. I think I speak for all of us up here when I say that we would treat our students just like we would our own family. I have paid for snack milks and lunches. I've rubbed backs when kids were sick. I've combed and fixed hair during picture day. I've bandaged cuts, given hugs, lots of hugs and high fives. I've been to students' home. I've had to make difficult phone calls to the Department of Children and Family, called the police to conduct welfare checks. I've worked with our school resource officers, and I've gone to my own school counselor just to sit and cry for just a few minutes. My first years teaching, I used every sick day. Did you guys use all of your sick days? Until my immune system built up. I've had ringworm. I've had pink eye. My husband has combed through my hair to check for lice more than once. I've even tied wet shoelaces when it hadn't been raining. And guess what? I would never do anything else. So many teachers, all of us have done these things, not just me. And we keep going no matter what. No matter what the legislative issues are at the state level, federal or local, no matter what happens in our personal lives, because that's what we do. We do what's best for kids no matter what. We need to continue the fight to give our students the resources and funds. They all deserve to have a wonderful public education. I have 2 college degrees. I have enough grad courses and have done enough action research and have hundreds of hours of professional development that actually I should be a doctor, or at least paid like one. But guess what? I would never do anything else. We get to be part of the profession that makes all other professions possible, and that is very, very special. Thank you so much again for this honor, and thank you to my families. I love you all.
Brandy Lane. Brandy believes teaching is a gift and a blessing that she is honored to engage in each day. She strives to provide strong academic experiences to students, as well as supportive, encouraging, and powerful relationships with those she encounters. Her building principle states, her ability to create a respectful environment for a diverse population of students is outstanding. She is masterful in developing trusting relationships with her students, and she sets a high standard for other teachers to follow in regard to implementing our curriculum. A fellow educator and friend writes, her level of dedication to the profession is refreshing and unusual. She makes other teachers want to be better. She has worked most of her career with students of high need and often high risk. She is completely devoted to their education and insists that they give their best efforts on a daily basis. A parent and colleague writes, it wasn't a coincidence that my child ended up being in Mrs. Lane's class. During our time together as colleagues, I witnessed her passion, advocacy, and dedication to all students in her class. She ensures that every child that walks into her classroom gets what they need to be successful. A current student shares, I like how Mrs. Lane gives everyone a second chance because she knows everyone makes mistakes. That teaches us that everyone makes mistakes, but you could get in trouble if you make a lot of them. Please welcome Brandy Lane, master teacher.
I didn't have it in my notes to cry until later. I have to tell you, my team is thrilled that this moment's happening because they are tired of hearing about how nervous I am. As I considered all that I have to say about teaching, about education and students, my dad said this is the worst thing that could happen, just start over. If I've had success in this dream of mine of teaching, it is because of the people I am and have been surrounded by. With every interaction that I have, each lesson I create and deliver, every decision I make in the classroom, I hear these people, these talented, innovative, amazing people, and all I do is mimic their greatness. Any success I've enjoyed is truly due to them. That's what makes this field so amazing. We all work together to make each other the best that we can be. We share, we encourage, we coach, we borrow, we steal a lot. I stole most of this from our last staff meeting. We want success for every other teacher, and at the middle level, that's really important. If kindergarten through 5th grade does a superb job, my life is a lot easier. One person that I seem to emulate often is my administrator, Mr. Chris Holman. He is most definitely the most genuine and passionate educator I've ever met. He inspires me and our staff to strive to be more compassionate, to be more involved, to be more energetic. And I don't know what kind of teacher I would have been if I had not ended up working for him. Now, Mr. Holman is a lover of quotes, and they're a great motivation to me as well. My workspace is littered with quotes that he has referenced. I don't do a great job of finding them on my own. One of his more recent quotes that I've latched onto is that we tend to see or to find what we're looking for. And I tried to find where he got that quote, but I was unsuccessful. So I've started thinking that he's making them up as he goes. So I'll just say a wise principal once said, we tend to see or find what we're looking for. Today in education, and honestly in the world, it's easy to find disappointment and controversy, among many other negative things. What Mr. Holman does is challenge his staff to see the positive, to see the great and amazing things that happen all around us. Our kids are doing them in our classrooms every day. Our colleagues are doing them in our schools every day. Now, I'm a reflective person by nature and a reflective teacher through and through. This recognition of master teacher has brought with it a great opportunity to reflect on more than just this year, more than just the last unit I taught or the last interaction I had with a student. I've been reflecting on the past 11 years. And what I've realized is that all of those amazing people who I've been surrounded by have always seen the positive, and they've taught me to see the possibilities more than the struggles or the disheartening issues that we have no control over. I've been encouraged to consider what can be done, what is possible, and how can I make more possible, to do and to be more, and not for personal gain, but simply for the empowerment of the youth that we serve and the families who support them. Everything we do, everything I was able to put in this portfolio was done ultimately to empower young people. I found that when my team and I focus on that one mission, positively empowering youth, we reach success. When we make a conscious effort, a decision to see the possibilities and successes, we overcome disappointments and every discouraging hurdle. What's so amazing about my day is that I not only have a building and a district full of encouraging colleagues, but I have, this is where I was supposed to cry. I have 25 students who see the positive and the possibilities in me. They give me the opportunity to be their positive every day. With that, how could anyone not have success in a career they have a true passion for? So I will end with a huge thank you to all those who have influenced me and given me such great experiences as a teacher. My current team, who is harassing me constantly, but is beyond supportive and can make me laugh regardless of the intense and quite unbelievable situations we find ourselves in. My principal, who makes up quotes just to inspire his staff. My district that empowers their teachers to be experts, the very best in the field. And of course, my family, there it goes, and my friends, who for some reason continue to believe that I'm better than I am. My husband, who never questions what I need for my students, what my students need, or how much it costs. And my children at home, I have 3, who make me want to be the teacher I want them to have. I thank ESU and the selection committee and Lucy. This was a wonderful day, and everyone involved in providing me this unbelievable experience. Thank you.
Laura Schwinn. Laura is convinced that life is all about connecting and communicating with each other, and she strives daily to help students accomplish this. As a career and technical education pathway teacher, she is focused on preparing students to enter the next stage of their lives with 21st century skills. Her current principal writes, she is a visionary, a motivator, and a great role model for young adults. Her former principal writes, Laura uses her relationship building skills to shine as an instructional leader. Working with students from poverty and limited English-speaking populations, Laura seizes the opportunity to improve student achievement by improving instruction and helping with all instruction initiatives. A colleague shares Laura is instrumental to our school. She makes our building tick in so many different ways. Her presence at all things school is standard practice, making students feel that they are her top priority. A former student who recently completed a degree in journalism recalls, "I stumbled into Laura's Journalism 101 course one semester and was immediately captivated, not only by the subject, but by the energy and passion with which she taught her students. Her breadth of knowledge of the intricacies of journalism is rivaled only by her charisma and joy for interacting with her students." Please welcome Laura Schwinn, Master Teacher.
They set us up to cry by reading those lovely words from former students. Good evening. I'm truly humbled, deeply honored, and extremely grateful to be a 2017 Master Teacher, especially with all of you sitting beside me. So it's been a great couple months, actually. So sincere thanks to Emporia State University, the Bank of America for honoring us today, the selection committee for the time they take to recognize all of us. Also to Lucy. We've all said Lucy's name tonight. Lucy's been great. Thank you so much for coordinating all of this and for keeping all of us in line over the past couple days. As a journalism and photography teacher, I find a lot of what teachers do can be summarized in the photography terms focus, develop, and take a shot. I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. My mom was a teacher, and as a child, I would sit next to her at the kitchen table with my crayons, and I would grade papers. Teaching always seemed like such an adventure, and I loved meeting her other kids at the high school. I really don't remember a time when being a teacher wasn't in the plans, it's been the focus of my life. For me, my first students were my dolls, the best class I've had to date. They were so quiet, they listened to what I said. While at that young age, I really had no idea what I wanted to teach. My passion had been ignited, and there was no looking back. As teachers, we want to ignite that same passion and help our students focus on their futures. As we all know, teaching is not a solitary effort. There are so many people who helped develop me into the teacher I am today, so many who support me and who deserve to be up here with me tonight. To my first teachers, my parents, I get emotional. Sorry. They instilled in me the importance of education, always supported me, and not everyone's that lucky, specifically to my mom, who I got to teach beside for 6 years at Emporia High School. I was honored to serve our community with you. Thank you for your guidance over the years. Sorry. For your compassion and dedication to our profession, and for being my first role model in education. To my sister Sarah, who is also a teacher, it runs in our family as well. She was my second teacher. She's my best friend. You've been there to support me, and I'm glad that we get to share our joys and struggles in this field with one another. To my niece Rebecca, thank you for bringing me so much joy and fun in my life. Your inquisitive nature and thirst for knowledge allow me to be a teacher even on my days off. So thank you for that. I am blessed to be a teacher in USD 253. The community of Emporia obviously goes above and beyond to support their teachers. From the district level and building administrators to my colleagues in the halls of Emporia High School, there's a sense of pride and family that is part of our culture. Special thanks goes to Dr. Britton Hart, my building principal, who's here this evening. Thank you, Dr. Hart, for your support and commitment to our students and staff. It's great to go to work each day knowing that we have the support system that you have in place for us, and I'm honored to get to work with you daily. I get to work each day with so many wonderful teachers, each of whom could be standing here in my place tonight. I'm honored to represent them and work with them on a daily basis. Special thanks to many of my former teachers who helped develop me into the teacher I am today. Some of them are former Kansas master teachers, and they're in the room tonight. Thank you for your dedication to the field of education and for being those role models we all need to strive to be. It is my hope that I'm doing my small part to develop a similar passion in my own students. In our profession, it's our job to not only develop our students into lifelong learners, but we must also work diligently to encourage our students to step out of their comfort zones. So much can change for students when they take a shot and try something new. I worked with many students who are the first in their families to graduate high school or to attend college, or students who, when they come into my classroom, are those shy freshmen who want to blend into the background. Encouraging them to step out of their comfort zone and try something new opens doors for them that they couldn't imagine. That is when I know that I've done my part as their teacher. When they move on from my classroom to an editor position at a major university, or to owning their own photography business, or to securing a dream job in the journalism field, or to becoming a teacher themselves. As teachers, when we help our students focus, when we develop the skills they need to be successful, and when we encourage them to take a shot at something new, we open the world for them. I'm grateful that I have so many people in my life that have done this for me. Thank you for opening up my world and bringing focus to my life.
'17 Master Teachers. Well done. Before Reid returns to the podium and closes our celebration tonight, there are 4 people that I need to recognize. An evening like tonight takes a lot of planning over a long period of time, and I want to recognize the 4 and have you join me in thanking them. So let me do that. If I can direct your attention to the back of the room. Lucy, the infamous Lucy, please stand, and Brandy, Greg stand, and Andrea, and Allison stand. Thank you all for this.
Wow, that was awesome. As a speech and theater teacher, I told John earlier, I am going to be secretly grading all of your speeches. John gave himself a B-. I'd say B. But I don't know if you were listening, as I listen as a speech teacher, I listen for the themes. And on a night when we are here to honor these 7 master teachers, and the word master definitely applies to these 7 individuals up here, every single one of their speeches was not about themselves. It was about others who inspired them, whether it was their families, their students, their co-workers. And I think that shows what education really is all about. That we as teachers have a hard time accepting praise. We have a hard time accepting the accolades because we know that everyone we work with puts their heart and soul into it. And that goes for all of you that are here tonight too, whether you're friends, family, co-workers, supporting these wonderful master teachers up here, or supporting the teachers in your district or your family members that are involved in education, whether you're legislators or administrators or support staff or anybody. We all play a part in the education of our students. Some of us very directly, some of us maybe a little bit more indirectly. But we all do make a difference in the lives of our students here in Kansas. Education truly is the key to a brighter future. And I'd like to thank everyone here for your continued work and your support on behalf of our students, our communities, and our profession. Looking ahead for all of you advanced planners, they're out there, nomination information and event details for the 2018 Kansas Master Teacher Award Program will be posted on the website. The local planning committee would like to thank all of you for your continued support of this outstanding teacher award program. Congratulations once again to our 2017 Kansas Master Teachers. We have truly enjoyed our evening with you, and we hope you've enjoyed your evening with us. Have a good night and a safe trip home.